Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
I've had a couple of online businesses. I had an Amazon business before. I've learned a lot. And with everything I've learned, I've actually built this brand with the idea of selling it. I find that Amazon is obviously a very competitive landscape. And I was able to reverse engineer a little bit like how the competition is able to copy sellers. So I built this brand as a diversified portfolio of products that are very hard to copy. So this is really what I'm enjoying doing, which is creating the products. So finding a niche that has been underserved or finding a keyword that hasn't been answered on the market and then building something from scratch. And sometimes this involves custom tooling or even I've been to China and I've created the product together with the factories. So in terms of product creation, that's my passion. I'm a little less fluent with the marketing side of it. So I believe there is definitely some room to grow in that aspect.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
So as I mentioned before, my passion is really the creation, finding those little markets and finding a little angle, a competitive advantage. So that's what I've been doing and that's what I enjoy doing. And it was always my goal to do that for, let's say, 2 years and then around that window exit it. So that was the goal and that's what I'm doing right now. And at the same time, I'm starting a new venture, which I've already started, which is basically similar to this, but then in a completely different vertical, actually in cosmetics. And I'm fully committed to that new business right now. It's a really good opportunity for somebody that is able to scale in terms of marketing and operations, because that's just not something that I enjoy.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
Most of the products have been launched and the catalog is quite maxed out right now. I mean, you can always add more products, of course, but just to maintain this catalog with the products, you wouldn't have to spend more than 2 hours per week. The bulk of the work, because we have, more than 40 SKUs, there's a lot of moving parts involved, but I have trained somebody, so the supply chain manager, which is included in the business, who's actually taking care of everything. So every Monday or Tuesday, she will make an inventory analysis, and then she will make a list with what we need to acquire from which factory. And then when I approve it, she will send out the PO to the factory, and then she will tell you to pay a certain invoice. So paying the invoices and approving the inventory is the most essential part of the work. Like that is what you need to do. That is very important. Other than that, you would have to check metrics, see if sales are doing well. Maybe we can raise some prices here, lower some prices there. So all in all, at 2-3 hours a week, that will be enough to manage the business if nothing else out of the ordinary happens.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
If I would keep the business, if I was you, the first thing I would do immediately is list on Walmart and to some extent also eBay. The reason is the following. I built these products based on underserved keywords in the market. There was no offer actually for it. So when I built those, customers started to index and I started to rank very easily for those keywords and customers started to buy it. Now those keyword searches are the same on Walmart as they are on Amazon. In most cases, there is no offer for it on Walmart. So with that in mind, if you would list on Walmart, I believe you would get sales from day one. The reason that I didn't do it, unfortunately, because my company was in Europe, I tried applying multiple times. I was not accepted onto the Walmart platform. But I'm sure with a US LLC, that would not be a problem. Then the same with eBay. We actually had an eBay account. We were doing a couple of thousand a month. The account got deactivated due to shipping metrics, but the demand is 100% there. Then the next thing I would do is create variations for products. I've already done that for a lot of products, but there's still a lot of variations we can create. I'm happy to include my IDs and my prototypes in the sale. And then the next thing, in the sale, there is actually an affiliate website that I own that I add into the sale. It drives around between $1,000 and $2,000 worth of sales into the Amazon account with an attribution link. And it gets around 12,000 visitors per month. And right now we are not leveraging like 95% of the traffic. So what I actually should do, or what you should actually do, is find a way, a lead magnet to catch the email address of the people visiting the website, consuming the content, and then remarket them because they are the ideal customer. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
The main risk involved with a business like this is the platform dependency. Like if Amazon overnight has a glitch or something and something happens to the account, like this can hamper your sales. Same with supply chain. During COVID, we saw that supply chain can be disrupted, out of your control. Those are, of course, real risks that are always associated with this type of business. I do have to say, usually the biggest risk in terms of longevity for a brand like this is the rate at which you get copied by overseas sellers. This is definitely true for products that you source from Alibaba, etc., and that don't really have a moat or diversification. Now, I just want to highlight that with this brand, it's been my goal from the start to only build products that are very hard to be copied by anybody else. In that sense, we've mitigated the biggest risk.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
I'm happy to provide 60 days of post-sale support, including email, video calls, and supplier introductions to ensure a seamless transition. Of course, if there's the odd email after that or a message, if you want to figure something out, I'm happy to help there as well.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out agreement?
My preference is a full cash sale at closing, but I'm open to any offers.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
I have really built this brand as a lifestyle business that generates cash, because a lot of brands and businesses, they make margin and they make profit on paper, but this money can never really be taken out because it needs to be reinvested. So I've built this really to be a cash-friendly business. And I'll give some insight on that. But in short, this brand combines like defensible, hard-to-copy products with a lot of traction and very lean operations. So I built it in 2 years with a grow and exit plan, and I documented everything from day one. Now it generates around 70K in monthly revenue with strong margins and takes like 4 hours to oversee. Several of the products are still in the launch phase. So the reported average profit that you see on Empire Flippers doesn't really reflect the full potential. So a buyer acquiring the business is doing it most likely at a very undervalued point with a clear upside, because those products still need to mature. And you can see how the past products are performing. So, if these follow the same trajectory, you're buying really at an undervalued point. Other than that, marketing can still be scaled. I've done very minimal marketing efforts on all of these products. Because of the way I research and launch products, there's actually a strategy that I haven't elaborated on in this interview, but I can do it on a call. These products do not show up on the product research tools that overseas sellers usually use to identify product opportunities. And that's exactly why we have longevity with this brand. So as a result, the business runs at a higher than average ROI. Even though the margin looks similar to other brands, the ROI is actually higher. And added to that, we have super favorable payment terms. I basically don't have written down payment terms with my main supplier. He allows me to pay whatever is comfortable for me, but I can definitely get something in writing to get you very flexible payment terms as well. So that's actually optimized to have a cash flow friendly business as possible, that you can actually enjoy the lifestyle and take out as much money every month from the business as possible. In those terms, it is really different than most brands on this website.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.